What is that? I hear you cry. This ain't new. Carbuyer have already reviewed the Volvo XC40. Oh, maybe this is a midlife facelift. No. Maybe a special sporty edition? No. Oh, maybe it's got new engines. You are getting closer. This is the new Volvo XC40 Recharge P8, the electric version of the very popular family SUV. The question is, should you consider this one over the cheaper and still lavishly equipped petrol model? Well, I'm about to find out for you. So yes, by the end of this video, you will know whether this is the XC40 for you. But before that, make sure you subscribe to the Carbuyer YouTube channel and click on the bell icon, then you'll get notifications every time a new review of a petrol, diesel, hybrid or electric car goes live. Now, as we mentioned, the Volvo XC40 isn't a new car. It's been around since late 2017 and is a car that, despite its premium badge and fairly lofty price tag, regularly features in the UK's list of big-selling cars. The reason it does so well is down to its well-built cabin, strong safety rating and low running costs. The fact that it's one of the most stylish SUVs on the market probably helps too. But what of this electric version? Available only in range-topping P8 guise at launch, this is a 400 brake horsepower, four-wheel drive rocket ship dressed in a sensible business suit. It's got a range of 260 miles, and yet it'll do 0 to 62 in less than 5 seconds. The catch? You'll pay north of £50,000 for the pleasure. More affordable front-wheel drive models will be available later. Now, whichever version you go for, you get a very familiar feeling cabin with just a few little minor changes. So this infotainment system is no longer operated by Volvo's own software. It is now powered by Google. And it's pretty intuitive. It runs a full suite of Google automotive services, which includes Google Assistant, Google Maps. If you've got an Android Google phone, then soon you'll be able to connect via Android Auto. Google, Google, Google. I mean, Google are going to take over the world soon, right? Volvo have said that Apple CarPlay is coming. That's going to be part of one of the over-the-air updates. So actually, the longer you have this car, the better the car and the systems get without having to go anywhere near a dealership. It's absolute witchcraft. The dials back here are specific to the electric version, so it's got all the information that you would want, plus full screen mapping, should you want or need it. I mean, overall, this is everything that you would hope for in here. The quality is great. You've got plenty of tech and loads of space. Not too shabby. As always, you get a full rundown of every spec on carbuyer.co.uk, but it's fair to say, despite the fact that prices are much higher than the petrol or hybrid XC40s, you'll get loads of standard kit. There's the first edition, like this one, which will only be available for a limited time. It's effectively an XC40 with every option box ticked. There's a panoramic roof, 360-degree parking cameras, a Harman Kardon stereo, the list goes on. I'm not going to bore you with the countless benefits of building an electric car from scratch, but the fact that Volvo hasn't done that doesn't seem to have caused many drawbacks back here. I mean, you've got an average amount of space for a car of this class. You can easily fit some adults back here. You've got some nice air vents, a very handy 12-volt socket there and some controls for the rear heated seats. There is one sticking point, and it's quite a big one if you've got young kids. There are certain front-facing child seats that clash with the headrests because you can't remove them. So that's a bit of a shame. But you do have ISOFIX points on both of the outer seats. The electric XC40 actually has 2 boots, which is handy. There's a 30-litre storage space in the front, not as big as the one that you'll find in the Ford Mustang Mach-E, but perfect for keeping the charging cables. You get 2 as standard, a 3-pin plug and a Type 2 cable, allowing you to charge from public charging stations and 7-kilowatt home boxes in around 12 hours. The Volvo's 150 kilowatt maximum charge speed is among the quickest of any car in this segment and lets you do a 10 to 80% charge in just over half an hour. That's really quick. Official range stands at 260 miles and you can get 200 to 230 miles in real world, depending on things like the weather and how you drive.
Anyway, back to practicality. In addition to the space in the nose, there's a big boot at the back. It's the same size as the petrol model, 452 litres, and there's some useful underfloor storage as well. Of course, you can fold the seats to carry larger items too.
So far, save for a few little tweaks in the cabin, this electric XC40 is very similar to the normal one. Although now we're driving it, yeah, you guessed it, the differences are pretty obvious because this car is pretty much silent. Not as quiet as the Audi e-tron, but it is still impressively quiet, no matter how fast you're going. And it's very comfy. I'm very relaxed right now, which is quite funny really, because this is a very fast car if you want it to be. It's got over 400 horsepower, will do 0 to 62 in under 5 seconds, but you don't really feel the need to do it. You've got that nice bit of instant shove in the back when you put your foot down. You just need a little pop on the accelerator and you've caught up with the traffic. At the moment, every model comes with 2 motors, one at the front and one at the back for the 4-wheel drive, which we think is a little bit unnecessary. I mean, yes, it helps with performance, but single motor models will be available soon. They'll be much better value for money and they'll give plenty of real world punch, we think. And you only need to look at the Mercedes EQA for that as a good example. Half the power, plenty of performance. Oh, we do have to talk about the XC40's regenerative braking, which is something that a lot of electric cars have. What it does is it captures the energy that you would normally lose when you're slowing down, puts it back into the battery, and you've got a bit of extra recharge. Now, the XC40 has 2 settings, so you've got one function that's a coasting function and one that's a little bit more aggressive. That basically means, I mean, I'm not even touching the brake, hardly touching the brake. I haven't touched the brake. And if you think that sounds really confusing, it's not, because you actually get used to it very, very quickly. Overall then, the XC40 is not a sports car, despite performance. It's a very capable family car. Should we have some deal makers and deal breakers?
The XC40 P8 is comfortable and quiet at all times. Rivals are bigger, but the XC40 has been cleverly thought out with space under the bonnet for charging cables and storage under the boot floor. It's hard to ignore the performance on offer, which only helps make the Volvo effortless to drive. There's no cheaper 2-wheel drive version for the time being, so prices are high. It's not cramped in the back, but some rivals are bigger and fitting some child seats could be easier.
That's it. The electric Volvo XC40 does everything we love in the normal XC40, but in a more refined and luxurious package. It is so quiet and very relaxing, but, and it's a big but, it's expensive. Well, it is at the moment anyway. There's going to be cheaper versions coming out very soon. So if you're pondering as to whether to swap your car now or wait 12 months, we'd say holding on would probably be a better bet.
If you like this video, then why not watch our review of the Ford Mustang Mach-E or our hybrid and electric cars playlist. Thanks for watching.